Hello everyone, I hope you're all wicked. Today I'm going to be doing a review on a brand new, highly anticipated eyeshadow palette which has caused a lot of people a lot of stress since the first month of the year, and that is the Jaclyn Hill Favourites eyeshadow palette by Morphe Brushes. So obviously, if you don't know who Jaclyn Hill is and you are an avid beauty fiend, you really do need to find out. She's probably one of the most popular makeup artists on YouTube. She's got such a lovely, infectious, genuine personality. I absolutely love watching her videos. They're always a pleasure to watch. And she has collaborated with Morphe Brushes, who are an American-based company, to come up with an eyeshadow palette. Now, Morphe Brushes are a very affordable brand in the States, and they do very large kind of eyeshadow palettes, and they do apparently amazing brushes. Now, I'll be honest, I've never actually used the company before, mostly because they're based abroad and you always have to think twice about, do I want to pay this much for shipping costs? Do I not? Can I get something as affordable in the UK? Yes, I can. So I've not really kind of bothered. But obviously, when I heard that Jaclyn Hill had chosen her favourite eyeshadows out of all of their eyeshadow palettes, I immediately was like, oh my god, I have to try it out, I have to get it. So what Morphe did, and I don't think that this was the smartest thing, they decided to launch it on New Year's Eve at midnight. I think that's really, really, really unfair. There were loads of people who obviously at midnight were with their families, they were out, they wanted to do this, they didn't want to do that. I think having to be online to order an eyeshadow palette is a bit unfair, but I do understand why they did it, because obviously they thought if you're that desperate you will get it. Luckily for me, it was already 8 AM in the UK at that time, because it was midnight PST, whatever, LA time or California time, whatever it is. So I was already up and awake, and the problems that they had, and a lot of people were really, really pissed off, mostly because of the fact that you said to us midnight on New Year's Eve, we have to order it at that time or we won't get it. 8-9 hours later, people still couldn't order it, so I would personally be fuming. Apparently, according to Jaclyn Hill herself, I will link the video in which she talks about this. She mentioned that apparently their servers were Morphe's servers were large enough to hold up to about 1.5 million visitors, but somebody hacked the site and sent something like 4 million fraudulent visitors to the site, and it completely messed everything up. I mean, I know I woke up at 8 o'clock, so I was like, click, refresh. It just kept refreshing. Every now and then I'd press refresh. Eventually I was actually able to get it within an hour. There were people that were trying for 3, 4, 5 hours, and I can only imagine the poor people in America. It's past midnight now. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, it's 3 o'clock, you're 4 o'clock, you're absolutely exhausted and tired. You don't really want to be doing this. So I can understand that a lot of them were really, really unhappy. But what Morphe have decided to do as a way of an apology is to release this eyeshadow palette again in February, and they will announce it, so please look out on their Instagram account, because that's where they normally announce these sort of things, to give people a second chance to get them, because eventually they did sell out, which is, I know, really unfair, because there were people that literally on midnight were trying to order them. Anyway, I was able to get one of the palettes, which I have used and I love. I am using the eyeshadow palette on my eyes today, and I have done a makeup tutorial on this look, so I will link it below. Before you guys ask, I am wearing a Jeffree Star Cosmetics Velour Liquid Lipstick in the shade Red Rum. And yeah, so I'll link the video below. Anyway, this is what Jaclyn has had to say. Here she is, gorgeous. She said, I collaborated with Morphe to bring you a palette of my favourite colours from their collection. These shadows are so pigmented, and the best part is that they are affordable. So many of you requested a palette with my top Morphe eyeshadows, so here it is. I hope you enjoy, and tag me in any makeup looks you create. Love you guys, Jaclyn. So, first things first, like I said, I've never used Morphe before, and oh my god, the shadows are amazing. They're so pigmented, they're really, really soft, and they're just gorgeous. I love this already. So here it is. Lovely. And obviously, if you guys know Jaclyn Hill, I'll just call her Jaclyn. Jaclyn is very much a very warm makeup wearing kind of person. She doesn't really go for cool toned kind of looks. She tends to go for more warm shades. So the majority of this palette, as you can see, is very, very warm shades. There's no blues in there. There's maybe one or two slight cool tone shades, but generally not. And there's no black. Sometimes, I mean, how many of us have got like hundreds and hundreds of different types of black? Black is black, for God's sake. We don't need it in every bloody palette. Here is. Together there are 28 eyeshadows, and for reference I paid £29. That includes the shipping, which is amazing. 28 eyeshadows, it cost me £29. It's almost £1 an eyeshadow including international shipping, so that's really, really, really good value for money. Now so far I've only used let's see, this shade, this shade, this shade and that shade, but I've not used the rest yet. But overall, from swatching and playing around, they're really, really pigmented. They are amazingly soft to use. If you watch my my makeup tutorial and I used this shade in my crease, I went a little bit overboard because I assumed in my head that if it's of a cheaper quality, I know I shouldn't really say those sort of things, more affordable quality, sometimes the quality is not so good. So sometimes you have to pack it on a bit more. Lo and behold, I put too much on. I had to really, really blend it out to get a nice transitional shade. So all of these are really, really pigmented. One of the things I love about this is that there are almost 10 matte shades in there, and a lot of the time companies tend to only put 1 or 2, which can be really annoying because as a transitional shade you generally want something matte, plus you want the variation anyway. So let's see, that's matte, no wait, yeah, that's matte. I think that looks matte. That's matte, that's matte, that's matte, that. And then you've got some more shimmery shades like these two here, these two, that one. This is the one that I'm actually wearing on my lid, if you can see. Shimmery, shimmery, and then these ones are slightly less, they're more satiny sort of shades. So I'm going to swatch these through really, really quickly because obviously there are 28 shades altogether and I don't want this video to be like 100 years long. This first one here. It's a shimmery champagne shade. That one. More of a yellow toned shade. More of a pale pink shade. Like a golden peach shade. A pale terracotta sort of shade. A matte orange shade. A golden orange shade. So that is the first entire row. Now we are going to do the next row here. This one is like a duochrome pinky purple shade and it's satin. A pinky brown matte shade, a perfect transitional shade. An almost like ash brown cool toned shade, again a transitional shade. Another ashy kind of brown, not as dark as the one before. A goldeny bronze shade, what I'm wearing on my lid today. A super shimmery orangey yellow colour and a pinky orange matte shade. So this is the whole of the second row. This is the more neutral kind of matte transitional shades. Now this next row here, pale shimmery candy pink, a pinky purple shimmery kind of satin shade, a dusky rose shade. Sorry, my hand's got like all the old swatches on now and it's difficult to take it off. A caramel brown shade, what I'm using as a transitional colour. Another ashy brown sort of colour as a transitional matte. A very burgundy brown matte shade and a lovely brownish plum shimmery shade. And then the last row, which is probably the more exciting one because it's got the more brighter pops of colours. A gorgeous dark pink cranberry sort of shade. A matte magenta shade. A shimmery violety lilac shade. A deep kind of greyish plum shade. A more browny plum shade. A matte burgundy, which is kind of mixed in with the last swatch, sorry. And then the last shade is this gorgeous green shade. Looks like that. So this is the swatches for the last row. And I am all swatched out now. So that is it for the swatches for the Jaclyn Hill Favourites eyeshadow palette by Morphe Brushes. I highly, highly recommend it. I think it's an awesome palette. So far from what I've seen and what I've tried, all the shades are very, very pigmented, very warm toned palette, very easy to blend, and there is a large variety of colours to come up with many, many, many different types of looks. So I hope that you all enjoyed this review. Let me know if you've got any more questions. I didn't get any customs charges as well, which is amazing. £29 for this eyeshadow palette, from including international shipping as well. So this will be available again in February. If you want to get your hands on it, I suggest you try. It is worth the money. Other than that, I hope you have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.